Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
I'm Scott.
I'm John.
And we're married. Let's see what you say, because I always do all the
Do you all the business?
blathering.
Blather, blather, blather. Hello, I'm Scott. I'm going to talk for a little bit about stuff.
About small talk.
About small talk, because I'm good at that. Welcome.
We are a knitting podcast.
We are.
About knitting
And stuff.
fiber-related
Content. And
content.
arts.
And arts. And crafts.
Yes,
so we did not record last week
because
we tore down our deck to the joists and rebuilt it.
Yes, and it looks fantastic. It's just not quite furnished yet.
Right, and we have some lattice work to put up around the sides, and we have a railing for the stairs to put up yet, but it's getting 90% of it's done. So
It's functional.
It's functional.
Yeah.
So we're not sitting on it today because we need to water treat it and stuff, but yeah, so that's why we weren't here last week. We got lots of stuff to show.
We do.
And people were asking last time why the dog was so interested in the plants. If you see him running behind us, it's not the plants he's interested in, it's the bugs.
Yeah.
Because he loves to chase bugs.
Yes,
all kinds.
he even catches them, which is kind of amazing, which is
Right.
really nice for inside too. The cats are not so good at
If
catching.
we have a house fly, we're like, here, let's go get the fly.
Yeah, and he can usually get it.
Yes.
So, good for him.
We are SweetTeaNoShade is the
Yes.
name of our knitting podcast, which is not a podcast, but that's just what people call knitting YouTube shows.
Yes.
Because it's not being broadcast on an iPod.
No. Does anyone still have iPods?
I think I have one in the dresser upstairs.
With your Zune?
And on Ravelry and Instagram, I am SweetTeaNoShade.
Right.
And you are?
On Ravelry, I am ILoveYouIKnow. And on Instagram, I'm John Asbury.
Right.
So
yeah, so that's our deets. That's our 411.
exactly.
So we today are going to talk about
Stuff.
Yes, about stuff and things. We are going to talk about projects that we've completed, knitting projects that we've completed, knitting projects that we're in the middle of, and we're going to talk about a new knit along that we're participating in, and an Angela Lansbury movie, because that's also something we do.
Yes.
If you're new to watching us, we are working our way through Angela Lansbury's entire acting career for some reason.
For some reason, it just sort of happened organically. So
We're not sure why.
Right.
So,
But we're all in.
we are definitely all in.
So if
Yeah.
we can find it online, we're going to watch it.
So I think I have 2 finished objects. Oh, and acquisitions. So
Yes,
any yarn
yeah.
we bought or anything.
Yeah.
I have 2 finished objects. How many finished objects do you have?
None.
I get to dominate this part of the podcast. All right. So we'll start with me then. All right. So the first thing here is these socks. I made them for John. And they are in Trilogy Yarns, and it's in her, I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. She is doing a 3-month Princess Bride sock
Something.
subscription. I couldn't think of the word. Gee, this is not going to go well, is it? And so this was the June, I'm pretty sure, and it was
Humperdinck.
Prince Humperdinck.
Mm-hmm.
So they turned out great. I love the colors, and just for those of you who haven't heard me talk about this before, my sock pattern is I use the Rose City Rollers pattern, but I add a leg to it. So Rose City Rollers is a shorty sock pattern, but I just add a leg to it because I love the heel flap and gusset, and that was the pattern I learned on. I do a wedge toe that's Kitchener closed. I do top down, and I just do 2x2 rib at the top. I made them a little shorter in the leg than I probably normally would. You said that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I would typically probably do it a little bit longer, but...
I mean, the next pair you make has to be knee socks now to make up for that.
Great.
So.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. So, yeah, I love the colorway. The base is awesome.
Yeah.
And
they fit.
things I learned... Oh, yeah, John's tried them on. The thing I learned in this project is the Russian join.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because I... ran out of yarn in the middle, or I don't remember what exactly happened, but I did a Russian join to join 2 balls of yarn, and I'm obsessed with that now.
Yeah.
So last episode I talked about it, but I'll put it in the description of this video as well, is the tutorial that Very Pink Knits does that shows how to do that join. It's the best join ever.
Right, and we had some tragedy with Magic Knot in my socks, so.
Yes, I'm gonna
and that might have been user error too.
Probably steer away from Magic Knot if at all possible moving forward, but. All right, so then I have one other finished.
I'm so bored.
Oh my God, nobody cares, nobody likes you. So then I finished this, and this looks like a mitten without a thumb. And what it actually is a baby.
It's a fist warmer. You just put your fist in it.
Yeah, you just put your fist in it. It's a baby Sockhead hat, and it's for my nephew Santiago, who is
a month and a half.
He's a month and a half. He hasn't reached his original due date yet, though. So he's a little on the smaller side, and so the yarn that I used 3 different colors of this Truboo yarn. And it's rayon made from bamboo, and it's a Lion brand yarn, and this colorway is tan. So I used tan, blue, and green, and I just did a Sockhead hat, and the smallest Sockhead, which is like the baby size, I forget who the designer is of the Sockhead hat. That's another thing I'll put in the description. It's a free pattern, but it's basically a hat using sock yarn. But the smallest size of Sockhead hat, I think you want to do it in 8. Okay. When you cast on your stitches, you want to do it in multiples of 8, I think it is, to do the decreases correctly. And so I did 80 stitches. Okay. And I did it, I knit this entire hat on 9-inch circulars.
Aw, it's so cute.
Yeah. So, and it's kind of pointed at the top. I didn't follow the decreases perfectly, but it turned out okay.
It looks super cute. It'll look super cute.
Yeah, and
when it's on a baby head.
Yeah, and I love the fabric it created. I think it's a little bigger than sock yarn, so it's actually a little denser fabric. But I've talked about this yarn a couple times on the podcast, and it's very drapey because it's rayon from bamboo. And so I was thinking about, I think I would even do a sweater in this. I mean, feel that.
Yeah.
It's drapey, but it's not.
Right, it's not.
It's hefty, I guess is the word.
Yeah, it's got something to it.
Yeah, so so I will definitely do, I think I could do booties.
Oh yeah, booties for sure.
And it's just so soft because of the material. It's easy to wash and stuff like that. You can use it as a fist warmer.
Hello.
Oh no, we are not starting that. We are not starting. Oh God.
Sock puppet theater.
That is a blast from like episode 5 or something. All right, so so I'll talk more about things I'm going to do for my nephew Santiago. I did a sweater and a hat. I'm going to wash these in Dreft and mail them off to them.
Yay.
For Santiago. Okay. So why don't you show us a work in progress?
How many works in progress do you have?
I have 2.
Okay.
Yeah, 2.
All right. So I will do, let's see. I will start with my baby sweater. So this is so I don't know if y'all folks remember, but like last, I'm doing a second baby sweater in, the pattern is called, oh God, people always
Leelanau.
It is a pattern by somebody, Melynda Bernardi, and it's Bernardi. Sorry, from French Press Knits. And so this is a baby sweater, and I am almost to the part. So it's a bottom up baby sweater, and so I'm about at 5 inches of the body, and at 6.5 is where I get started sleeves. So and I don't know if you folks remember, it's basically a mirror inverse, negative inverse, like a picture, where it is, the other one is this red.
He's making them for twins.
Right, because they need to be matchy for twins. Twins love that.
He's being sarcastic.
Yes.
Or facetious.
Or both. Sarcastic. Anyway, so yeah, it's this teal with the red dots, and the yarn is feels like Butta, in this red.
Oh, you know what this made
teal.
Me just think of?
What?
Is the woman who's from Norway but lives in London. She's a podcaster.
The Knitting Expat?
No, she's not from Norway.
Okay.
And she does like all this color work stuff. You know who I'm talking about?
Nope.
I can't remember what her name is, but I can't remember. Anyway, she does a lot of Norwegian, Scandinavian type of knitting, and she called patterns that have these little one knit stitches in there. There's a Norwegian tradition that includes that in their patterns, and it's the Norwegian word for fleas.
Oh, cute.
It might be like fleece or something. I mean, it's very close to the word fleas, but she talked about that in some of the stuff that she's done. That's a Norwegian.
Cool.
Not a technique, but like a Norwegian
term.
No, it's
label.
Like whatever.
Something. So anyway, yeah, it is knitting right up. So yeah, my goal is to get this.
Ellie.
My goal is to get this done the next week and a half or two, which is pretty doable.
We're going to a cabin in northern Wisconsin coming up.
So I expect to be able to finish that this weekend, maybe. Or at least get to the part where the sleeves are joined.
Yeah.
So
do you want to talk about, what happened to the thing where you were going to start with the sleeves and get the sleeves done first?
Oh yeah, so I started with the sleeves, and then the first sleeve
made you sad?
No, I was doing something and I messed up, and then I dropped like 8,000 stitches, and I got frustrated, so now we're doing the body. So
you're running from your problems?
No, I'm postponing them. So
I see. That sounds familiar.
I mean, it'll get done in the same amount of time.
Except for all the time you spent on the sleeves that you had frog.
It was like this much. It was not even, I wasn't even done with the rib yet. So it wasn't.
Oh, you know what I just realized? What? That's why this is weird. I've got my medium and my large sock blank together. Instead of using the two larges.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Anyway. So yeah.
All right. So I'm going to talk about my sock.
Okay.
Because there's a whole bunch of things to talk about with this. So first of all, this is my brand new bearded Purl bag.
Yay!
That I got from Caleb. That I went on his Etsy shop. I'll have his information linked in the description. And you bought a bag from him too, didn't you?
Yes.
You just bought it though. It hasn't.
Yeah, mine's larger than yours.
Oh, la-ti-da. But I love the bag. The thing about his aesthetic, I guess you would say, is that it's everything I want to be, but nothing I could ever be. Which is very organized, very clean, very, I don't know.
You're perfect just the way you are, babe.
Thanks. I can tell you meant that.
I mean, that's what I'm supposed to say, right?
That's what you're supposed to say.
Okay, good.
So, he has bags that are gray with different colored, like different accent colors. I haven't been on his shop in a few weeks, so I don't know what other things he has right now. But mine's
cranberry, or brick red. I can't remember.
So that's what really, I think mine was called Forest.
Okay.
So I love this bag. It's perfect. This is, I think it's a sock size, and it's just,
It's one of those things like the...
I love how big this handle is. I love how this has the lobster claw clasp. I feel like I'm on Home Shopping Network.
Right.
Remember when they used to, my family, okay, I was forced to watch a lot of Home Shopping.
You were forced.
And yes, I was forced. Believe me. 11-year-old me was not excited about sitting and watching Home Shopping Network with my grandmother all day long. But anyway, so it's got this...
I just like how everything is just very... So, like, the zipper...
is super sturdy.
Everything matches. Like, the zipper liner matches this, matches that. I mean, yeah.
So I love this bag. So that's one of my first acquisitions. The next thing is that for the July, and I hope... Okay, so you guys, those of you who watch regularly know that for some reason when it comes to Nancy with Trilogy Yarns, I'm going to get something wrong when I talk about her
life
and her in general. Her name's probably not even Nancy. No, I know it.
I think it might be.
I'm just kidding. But anyway, I'm thinking this was the July part of July installment of the
Princess Bride
sock
subscription box,
but it is
advent calendar.
It's not an advent calendar. This is Princess Buttercup, and it's her. What did you say? It was her riding dress.
Yes, the one where she's wearing it and she gets kidnapped and she wears it for the rest of the movie until she gets unkidnapped.
Oh right. So it's this beautiful. It's not like a burgundy color. It's pinker than that.
Right.
So I'm not sure how, obviously, but it's got some really fun flecks in it. Like, so white and brown. And what's cool about it is it's like, I think other people have talked about when yarn is speckled like this, it keeps you going. It keeps you interested because you're excited to see what kind of little blips of color are going to come up. And then it came with a corresponding or whatever, and I'm not going to take it out because I'm afraid I'm bad with minis getting messed up. But so I've started the socks for these. So this is.
Are those for me?
No, they're not. They're for me.
Oh.
Sorry. So this is the it's brown, and similarly it's got white speckles, I guess you would say. So anyway, I love the color combination. I love how rich this red is. And I love the base that Nancy
It almost
uses.
stripes
well, I wouldn't say it's stripes.
Or it's got like, it doesn't have speckles, it has like little dashes of color in it.
Yeah. So I am knitting these for myself because I knit one pair of socks for somebody else and then I knit a pair for me. That's how I've trying to go with this. And so these are for me. And yeah, so I love it. Nancy's yarn is great. So that's
God
my July yarn and my bearded pearl bag. So.
Hang on.
I know you're busy knitting, but we're trying to do a YouTube show.
I know,
so
sorry. I messed up my color.
Do you want me to do my next work
Yes,
in progress?
do you mind? Then
No.
I can get onto then I can get this fixed and I'll be
Twist
happy.
my arm. Oh, but then I'm going to have to sit a long time and listen to you talk.
Just for a little bit. It's okay, babe.
All right, so the next thing I'm going to do, this is in my rusted stitch bag that John got me. Either John got it for me or she gifted it to us. Like, you got it for me for Christmas, right? She was very generous. I can't remember which bag she gave us.
I think you got one for me, and then she gifted us one, and I helped pick it out.
So her name is Stephanie Lewis, the Rusted Stitch, and she has an Etsy shop. So she upcycles sweaters, which I think is super awesome. It's canvas lined, leather strap. I haven't talked about this bag in a while, but I use it all the time. So what I've got here is, I talked about this in the last episode, but I hadn't cast it on yet, and that is I'm doing a stuffed monkey for my nephew Santiago. Okay, so it's Jerry the Musical Monkey is the pattern, and it's the part of this Makers League, and each month I think they feature a different designer and they pair yarn with it. You can buy the kits, and it's from this local yarn store to us called Darn Knit Anyway, and it's in Stillwater, Minnesota, and it's about a 45-minute drive away from us. But I just love everything about her store, and she's just great. So I bought the kit, and you had a few different options to pick from. So it's a combination of, so the body and everything is gonna be this color. So that is Malabrigo Rios in the color, how do I say that?
Piedras.
Which I forget what
Rocks.
Rocks? Is that what piedras means? Okay.
Yeah. I used to watch, when I was living in Costa Rica, we used to watch the Flintstones in Spanish, but his name was Pedro Picapiedra.
Which means little rocks?
I think. Flint, Pica, I'm not sure what Pica means.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, because what's that? There's this rock in northern Georgia, North Georgia, where it flakes off and it's kind of iridescent, and it's called
Pica?
I don't remember. I have no idea where I was going with that. Anyway, I've started the body. It's a stuffed animal, so it's going to go really quickly. But it's just, I'll do a close-up video of this, but it's just absolutely beautiful.
And you're trying, Malabrigo Rios is so... It's just...
I forget how great this yarn is.
Yeah, it's just...
There's something about the twist
Mm-hmm.
that I love. There's no fuzz to it, which I know that, I'm not saying I don't like fuzz, but it's so, when you knit, it's so, the stitch definition is so great.
Yeah. It's really good for anything. I've used it for, because you've used it for those cowls, anything with cables, it's really good for.
Yeah. So anyway, it's awesome. So this is Malabrigo Rios, and this is this is all I've got so far. And then this is going to be his face and ears and hands and feet, and it's Berroco vintage in the colorway. I think this is one that has just a number,
right?
5195. So you can tell it's like a rose color. So I think that's going to be really a fun thing for him.
For sure.
Yeah. So like I said, I've done a few stuffed animals. I've only ever done stuffed animals from patterns by the Bakery Bears, by, I forgot what her name is. Kay at the Bakery Bears. And she has great patterns, obviously. I did a fox and a bear. And so this is this is a Rebecca Danger pattern. Rebecca Dangers. I can't remember which. It'll be in the description, but it's Jerry the Musical Monkey. And so, yeah. So I'm excited to do that. And I bought one bag of that stuff that you put inside the stuffed animals.
We have a whole bag downstairs with it.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the bag I bought, and I've made 2 stuffed animals, and I've still got a bajillion pounds of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just crazy how I assumed, you'd buy, I assumed it would take a lot to stuff in there, but it really doesn't.
No.
So, okay, have you got something for us?
I do. Sorry, my knitting's interfering with my knitting. This is a cowl I'm working on. It's called the 66 Triangles Cowl. And the pattern is not here, but it's by Benjamin Matthew Designs.
Matthew, I think it's Matthews.
Sure. I don't remember, but it'll be in the show notes. So it's getting pretty close to done.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have to keep giving you the backhanded compliment that when you told me those were the colors you were going to combine, I was kind of like, but it really works.
Yeah. So I am on. So it's basically it's a just standard colorwork pattern, and this is the repeat, and you do 6 rows of six of these triangle rows, and I'm almost done with the 5th triangle row. So, and the yarn I'm using is Urban Girl Yarns. It's DK weight, and it's called Kaleidoscope. So this is 100% superwash merino. And then this is Lady Dye Yarns, It's also 100% superwash merino. And, right. Yes. And this is colorway on this one is Georgia Pecan, or Pecan, or whatever you want to use. So yeah, it's just one of those things. I've wanted to do this cowl for a long time. Just found 2 yarns that I really like together. So this one is actually nearly finished, so I might actually finish this tomorrow. Because basically one of these triangles takes the data, one of these repeats
66 Triangles Cowl.
Yes.
Cowl.
Yeah. And so part of me wants to make it a 77 Triangles Cowl, but Scott has told me that I need to shut up and follow the pattern. So...
No, I thought you were going to make it shorter.
No, I was going to make it longer.
Oh. Well,
But I think that'll be...
I
think it'll be fine.
John is like, it's like, just do to the pattern, and then
Right.
if you like it.
So yeah, and the fun thing is I did a tubular cast on for this, which I think looks really great. And then I'm going to do a tubular cast off for it too.
You've not done that before.
I've not
right?
done that. And basically what you do is basically a long tail cast off, and instead of
Long tail cast off. I don't even know what that is.
so what you do, if I'm following my very pink knits tutorial correctly, is instead of casting off on needles, using the needles, you cast off with a, you take like a length of the yarn 4 times what the length it is, and you sew off.
Interesting.
Or you don't graft it, but you
Like
bind off.
kinda Kitchener it off?
Yeah, except you're using one
Are
needle.
you using a tapestry needle to bind off?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
So yeah, that'll be fun, and it's a thing you do 1 by 1 rib, and it's just it forms a really nice edge. So yeah, this one is, I feel it's very, very autumn,
Yeah.
and so it's making me look forward to cooler weather where I can wear a cowl, which you can wear for about, most of the winter, but it's
Yeah.
more of a,
It's like a scarf.
yeah, it's more of a fall accessory, I think.
Yeah.
It's
Well, it's visible in the fall.
right. In the
Because
winter,
in the winter everything's
you're
covered up.
Yeah. So
that's true.
anyway, so yeah, that is again nearly done. I'm excited to wash and block it too, because it'll just be, I think, turn out really nicely.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool. All right. Okay, so I've talked about my 2 works in progress, and then I've kind of discovered I like to have 3 works in progress. That's kind of my happy place. So it's like I like to have a sock and then 2 other things. So right now, I know what I'm gonna do. So are you done with works in progress?
Yes.
All right. So we should talk about the knit along that we're going to participate in.
Yes.
We are participating in a knit along / crochet along with a few other podcasts. And so we just thought it would be fun to all kind of join together and do the same thing. And we are calling it the Knit One and Done Knit Along / crochet along. And so I'm blatantly, unapologetically stealing information from the Needles at the Ready podcast post about this.
Because they've set up their Ravelry group already.
They've set up their Ravelry group, and so
We'll probably just copy and paste what they
Yeah.
put into ours.
I'm sure they'll be fine with that, right?
Yeah, it's plagiarism, but it's,
Right.
I don't think anyone's going to sue over that.
No. So
Or we
it's-
hope not.
Yeah, we cross our fingers.
I know.
So,
We probably shouldn't have said that we're plagiarizing.
YouTube's going to demonetize
Your Honor.
us. So Knit One and Done is what it is, and so basically it's a one skein project, and that's pretty much all there is to it.
Yeah.
And so just some of the
Ground rules?
ground rules, but what are those things that
Guidelines?
They put in what are those things they put in the gutters when you're bowling? If you're not a good bowler, those gutter guide rail. Anyway, I don't know where.
Guardrails.
Guardrails. So your project has to be at least 50 grams.
Okay.
And so we're saying one skein, but it can be a collection of minis, things like that. It's just the thought is to do kind of a one skein stash buster or gift knit or something quick like that. The request is that you do start fresh. So this is not take something that's already in progress, and that's all there is to it. So.
So the official start date was last week.
Yeah, August 9th, and it goes through September 30th.
Right.
So it's a pretty quick one.
So, don't do a sweater unless it's a small sweater.
Well, some people are a lot faster than we are. Oh, well, one skein sweater.
It'd be a really big skein.
It's a baby sweater.
Yeah.
The other podcasters that are doing it are On the Needles, which is Nancy and Kathleen. And they're relatively new. Nancy is the owner of Trilogy Yarns. So they're, and then us, and then Ray and Kevin from
Needles on the Ready.
Needles at the Ready. And then Fiber Hustle, which is a really fun podcast. And then, sorry, I'm trying to find the list here. And then Cody Knits, who we've talked about before, and we've actually met in person. And then the Creative Obsession, so which is Carrie. So, so we are going to have a couple threads in Ravelry. One is a chatter thread where people can talk about their projects or ask us questions, and this time we're going to pay attention to those posts, which we've been bad about in the past.
You've been bad about because there's no expectation that I would do it at all.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. You're just managing expectations there, right? So then there is the finished objects thread, and then prizes will be pulled from the finished objects thread, and we'll use a random number generator.
Right, and the idea is that each podcast is going to have separate Ravelry threads. So if you're sneaky.
No, not sneaky. That's the whole point of it.
No, if you want to maybe maximize your chances of winning, you can enter into multiple threads. And I think there's going to be a Instagram. There is an Instagram.
The Fiber Hustle guys,
are doing
an Instagram hashtag.
Right, because apparently they're worse at Ravelry than we are.
No, which is saying something. So
I think it'll be fun. I have my skein picked out.
I have my skein picked out, but I don't have my project picked out.
I have my skein and my project picked out. And the problem is the skein that I picked out is enormous. It's going to be... we'll show it later, but it's like a 200-gram skein.
Oh, Lord.
But it's going to be a scarf.
Well, this is what I'm doing mine with. So the skein that I'm going to use is... Trilogy Yarns, and it's the Midwest Sunset. So the story behind this is that Ross from
Smells Like
Yarn took a picture, and I think Nancy based the skein off of that picture.
Yeah.
I think it was from an airplane that he took the picture. And
yeah.
So I've decided I'm going to use this skein, but I haven't picked out my project yet. I thought about doing a Sockhead hat.
Is it in Sockhead? Yes.
Yeah.
It's Sockhead yarn.
It's
Sockhead yarn.
It's her glamorous base. So that's
you could have a Sockhead hat for you.
Yeah, that's true. The other thing I was thinking is I actually would like to do maybe a cowl.
You could do a Sockhead cowl.
There's a Sockhead cowl?
Remember? That's what I did that.
Oh, that's true. Remember I wanted to do a drapey thing, though.
Okay. I would imagine.
Like a drapey cowl. So...
Sorry, our dog is going crazy over there.
Eating?
I don't know. Something...
I could do maybe. I'll have to
hopefully
look.
it's not torturing some beetle to death.
Focus.
Sorry.
So I don't know what I'll do yet, but we'll figure something out.
We're starting again. So
that's right. I forgot about this.
So this is the skein that I'm going to use. So this is 500 yards of Surrey Merino. Right? Is Surrey a type of sheep?
It's a alpaca. It's a baby I think it's baby. It's a baby alpaca, or it's a breed alpaca.
So, it's called the.
There's a whole lot going on
I
this
know.
label.
It's called Alpacas de
Dovas.
Dovas. Luxury yarn from Pasture to Your Needles. We bought it in Notorious.
Yeah, Notorious in St. Louis. Remember that little store that's gone out of business in St. Louis?
I thought
When we were there for...
Was it in St. Louis or
was it
in
Lana?
Or was it in Duluth?
No.
Okay.
No, Notorious is the store in St. Louis.
That is no longer in business.
Correct.
Okay. So anyway, I bought this yarn, and you bought some yarn, same thing too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 85 Surrey, 15% merino. It's 3-ply, and it's 500 yards.
Mm-hmm. Colorway is Raven.
So I have this really great.
John keeps thinking it's got purple in it.
I think it's got a little purple in it.
It's black.
It's
got solid
It's
black.
got purple undertones.
It has no undertones at all. It's just black yarn.
I like it. So
Just like your soul.
whatever.
Solid black with no purple.
What about
undertones.
Raven?
Keep going.
So anyway, it's just this skein of yarn that I just have no idea what I want to do with it, and I'm like, I found this really great scarf pattern, which I'm gonna make.
Oh, yeah.
So
It would be good for a scarf.
yeah, it's all squishy and wonderful. So
And solid black with no undertones.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's kind of purple. It's like it's so deep purple that it's black.
No, it's just black.
Ravens have purple undertones.
Right. So, yeah, great. Good for you.
I love it. So yeah,
So anyway, we will have the
it
Ravelry.
has like these weird flecks of white in it, like white strands.
Yeah, also known as
Cat hair.
luxurious domestic long hair, American domestic long hair cat.
feline.
Felis catus.
So yeah, and yeah, I'm excited because I've done stuff in alpaca before and didn't love it.
Well, and this has got
Alpaca-
merino in it.
Yeah.
And it's Surrey, which is different than the alpaca you used before.
Right. So anyway, and I forget what the pattern is, but it's some scarf pattern that's in my Ravelry queue.
Yeah.
So this is kind of fun. So I ordered this thing, basically a mystery box from this store called String Thing Studio. That's in Park Slope, Brooklyn. Just because I was on Instagram and it looked like fun. So basically what they do is they said they were reopening.
We want to get rid of our crap. Come buy it from us.
Right.
Which, I'm not saying that's bad. It's just kind of fun.
No,
I think
it's
kind of what
they were
doing.
reopening after being closed for a bit, and this was kind of their buy a mystery box. So they basically sent me some yarn.
Right.
So I'm going to take So the first thing I got was a bunch of, this is Berroco Mercado, right? Mm-hmm. So this kind of cranberry claret.
So this is, hang on, this is 100% Peruvian Highland wool.
Yep.
And it's 100 grams, 164 yards.
Yep.
It's Peruvian.
Yeah. And the colors are just numbers.
Oh, that's right, because it's...
So anyway, I got 3 of
I didn't know
that.
Okay.
Of that all together. So I got this, that,
Oh, wow.
this.
That's really
And so
cool.
I was thinking
I haven't seen this yet.
Yeah, so I was thinking that could be kind of a fun, I don't know, like a sweater with a gray sweater with this as like stripes
Oh my god, that is such a cool idea.
in the middle, and then maybe the cuffs and stuff. I don't know. I think this would be a fun, because it's what? I forget what weight it is. It's probably DK
No.
or worsted.
I might even be bulky.
Oh, it's 164 yards. Yeah, so it's bulky. So it'd be I could do a quick bulky sweater and just get a bunch of other Berroco, because Berroco is actually pretty,
Affordable.
so I can get like a background color pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think I'm going to do that. And maybe...
I love those colors together.
Yeah,
too.
I do too. So that was just kind of fun, like bonus project. So yeah, I think a sweater with a big stripe.
Yeah.
Big stripes in the middle.
Color blocks.
Color blocks,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'll maybe find a pattern that has that. And then maybe do a raglan or top down or
yeah,
up
you
down.
could do the patina pullover that I did.
Oh yeah,
Because it's such an easy pattern.
That's
now
true.
That I figured it out.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that. So anyway, this is just kind of fun, and I love. This is, I think, my favorite of these. I like this.
You like
tonal,
those weird colors.
Tonal.
You do realize that's black, right?
No,
With
it is
no
not.
purple undertones.
Shut up. It's like greenish yellow.
Oh God! So
What color is
John confessed something to me the other day, and it almost made me start crying, because John said, so he said you were showing me something, and you described it as purplish, and I said, no, it's just purple, and you said,
I learned it. Because I'm so ashamed of my color blindness, I qualify my colors choices
he can't
now.
ever say purple. He says purplish because he's afraid I'm going to be like, that's not purple. And so,
Afraid sounds like I have it's irrational. Like as if you
as
don't
though
do
it's not evidence-based.
Right, exactly.
An evidence-based fear.
But
So
this
no, that's it's chartreuse.
right, which is green
It's
in the green.
kind of a
green.
neon-y, not neon, but it's like a anyway.
But yeah, so I don't know. I'll figure out the stripes. I think the chartreuse goes in the middle.
Yeah, I do too.
So that's
citrine.
citrine. What her?
Betty Ann's favorite color.
Okay. What?
It's not really.
Okay.
She hates citrine.
Okay.
Well, she hates the gemstone citrine because I think it's her birthstone.
Okay.
There's something with her and the citrine. I don't remember. She has lots of very strong opinions about things.
That's our Betty Ann update.
Yeah, I'm talking about my mother.
She hates
For
the
those
tree.
of you who don't know.
So yeah.
She doesn't like when people have weird mouths too.
Huh.
She gets hung up on that. Anyway, go ahead.
So yeah. So that's the first little bit. The next little bit is these two skeins. Have you not seen any of this yet?
No.
Oh wow. So it's new to you.
Well, actually, I take that back. I think this next skein I saw.
So I was gonna just do it like a live unboxing, but it arrived last Tuesday, and I just couldn't wait. So the next little bit is this, which is Ecopuno, which is I know.
Oh wow, it's so light.
This is I think it's alpaca.
It
yes,
is
it's
baby
alpaca.
alpaca.
It's cotton, wool, and
my.
alpaca. So
It's mainly cotton,
Yeah.
72% cotton, and then
with merino.
merino wool and baby alpaca.
Alpaca.
That's so cool.
So yeah. So and the color is 28. But yeah, I like this color. I don't know what I'll do.
I love 28.
28.
28.
Betty Ann hates 28 as a color though.
28 really brings out my eyes.
But yeah,
So is this lace weight?
I don't know.
Oh, it's made in Italy.
Yeah.
It's super light.
Yeah.
I don't know what you would make out of this.
I don't know. It says to use
You can
4 to
make
4.5s on it.
You could make a blouse.
Maybe use like a lace tank top. I don't
Who
know.
would wear that? Would your sister wear something like that?
I don't know.
Yeah, anyway.
She might. I mean, it's not lace. I think it's fingering.
Anyway.
It's a pretty color though. It's
And
just
thank you to all of you who've sent me links to charts for yarn weights. We should print it out. We should print out a yarn weight chart and
Yeah.
just have it with us at all times, because to me, I think there's something about the IT person in me that it's like I need it to be specific. From here to here it's this, from here to here it's that, and like have it be a formula or something.
right.
And I think the only thing I found like that is the wraps per inch.
Yeah.
But, this says
Are you gonna,
four...
you can always get a tattoo on your finger.
Oh, I've thought about that. I thought that. Somebody, I forget who it is. I saw somebody. Who is it that has that?
I don't know.
But
But the problem with your finger is that your finger isn't all the same width the whole time. What if
that
you get
doesn't matter. It's
Right,
it's
right.
the width of the
yarn.
and
So is it-
that doesn't matter.
Okay, right. It doesn't matter.
But this calls for 4 to 4.5 millimeter needles, which that's That's what I'm using for the monkey.
4.5 is like, those are
pretty big. So this must, anyway.
Maybe it's Italian sizes.
Italian millimeters? Euro millimeters?
I don't know.
What's next?
And then finally, so apparently these are all Italian yarns. That's exciting. And then this, which is also fantastic. This is a botanical yarn, hand dyed in York, UK.
That's cool.
I know, and it's called String Thing. So it's made exclusively for this shop.
Right, because the name of the shop was String Thing Studio.
Yeah.
It's sock yarn.
Sock yarn.
I bet that's self-striping red, white, and blue.
Yeah. So.
And since it's made in the UK, we're going to say it's for the Union Jack and not the American flag.
I bet it is. Mm-hmm. That makes more sense, doesn't it? Maybe if you do the right pattern.
Although there is gray in it.
Yeah.
And there's no gray in the Union Jack, right? It's just red, white, and blue.
Mm-hmm.
Or
maybe
bleu, blanc, et rouge.
Yeah, maybe it's a muted Union Jack.
Yeah.
Because it's not, I mean, who knows? We're just making an assumption because it's in the UK, it's a Union Jack. So,
right.
So yeah, this is really fun. It's really, feel it. Nice.
Yeah. It's 75-25, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So that was
cool.
It was fun. So it was just one of those things like like send me some yarn. So and they did.
Fun.
And that was fun. So yeah.
Well, I like that they sent you a couple skeins of the blue, like they and then they sent those.
Right.
It's like they didn't just dump stuff in a bag.
Right.
You
right.
know?
There's the kind of like the cool, super fancy stuff, and this is But I was really happy with this.
Yeah.
And then this
doing
is
a quick bulky sweater would be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So should we talk about the Peep?
Sure.
So
what happened was.
Oh wait a second, I gotta use my other finger. So the Peep, it's kind of like a mini shop hop that happens on the east side. So we live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is one of the twin cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. And people talk about the east side and the west side because St. Paul is east of the Mississippi and Minneapolis is west of the Mississippi. What?
Yes, I'm sorry.
And
that is correct.
And so there is it's like a mini shop hop that usually happens called PEEP. And so PEEP stands for the Progressive East End Project. And so I think, and I don't know much about it, but my understanding is that they do it every year and you go from store to store like any shop hop, but it's just 6. There's a big Minnesota shop hop, but then this is just there's a group on the east side that do this. And so they've gotten together and they've decided to do a mystery knit and crochet along. And so this again is from Darn Knit Anyway, which is in Stillwater, Minnesota, which is northwest of St. Paul actually. And so she sent, her emails are very effective. Every time she sends
northwest of St. Paul.
Northeast of St. Paul,
yeah.
Sorry. Every time she sends an email, I'm like, click, buy. There's something about her emails that are very, I don't know, they suck me in. And so there are 6 stores that got together, and there was a collection of minis that are all the same, but the main skein of the project varies from store to store.
Right.
So you could pick which collection you wanted, which kit you wanted, and then they sold out within the same day.
Right.
She said I did store pickup or whatever it's called, rather than having her ship it to me just because I needed to get out of the damn house. And so we drove up there. But she said that normally, like, they sell the kits over, a couple weeks between the time that they start sales and the time that they start the knit along. But she said that they sold out within the same day. Right,
because it was funny. So the pattern is a pattern that was it's a special pattern created for this, I think.
It is
by the guy who owns or runs the yarnery.
I think he owns it. His name's Scott. I forget his last name, but
Yeah.
he designed the pattern. And
Right.
it's I think it's a scarf.
Yeah, it's a scarf. Yeah. And so I went on the yarnery. I'm like, oh, I should go see what theirs is, and their patterns were sold out immediately.
Kits, yeah.
Their kits were sold out immediately. So you got yours from Darn It Anyway, and I got mine from another one of the pristine shops called Three Kittens Needle Art.
Three Kittens Needle Arts, that's right.
So, and so we used as an excuse to go to the house one day and buy yarn.
Yeah, pretty much. So she sent the email. I'm just looking here. She sent the email at 8:04 a.m. and then at 10:30 a.m. it was sold out.
Yeah. I think people are hungry for projects.
Yeah.
And also to support your local yarn shops. Blah, blah.
So yes. So I'm going to show. Oh, I forgot I had something else outside of the peeps to show.
Is
that
an acquisition?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to show my peep. Have you got your peep handy?
I do.
So this is my kit. And so this is the main skein. It's Lavender Loon is the dyer. Lakeshore is the colorway. It's 100% superwash merino. And it's a local Minnesota dyer, northern Minnesota. And so the loon is the Minnesota state bird. Okay, this just fell off. I hope that's not a problem.
I think you should wind it up pretty soon, though, because it's going to get all tangly.
Well, it's got this over here. So anyway, this is the colorway. So it's the base color is like a super subtle lime green color, and then it's got blues and speckles of navy blue and yellow.
Fun.
And even some rust speckles in there. So this is mine, and then so mine is unique. Each of the skeins is unique, but then there are 6 minis that come.
We all get the same.
Yeah, that's right. That are all the same for every kit, and they're Malabrigo, I think, right?
Yeah.
And I actually ended up hand winding them already. By the way, don't try to hand wind yarn in the car, because that was a disaster. So this is what the 6 minis look like. And so I think it's going to look great.
Whatever it is.
With that, so.
And so mine, same thing. Oh, it's got a little ribbon. It's exciting. So here are the minis unwound. And then mine is called Nimbus, which is pigments.
Oink pigments.
Oink pigments. And this hand-dyed from Indianapolis, Indiana. Oinkpigments.com. The colorway is I Like It a Lot K. How do you pronounce it? How do you say? I'm being bad. How do Latka?
I Like It a Latka.
Latka, not like latte. So that's pretty. And it's let's see.
Sorry, our dog is going crazy. It's distracting me.
Yeah.
That's not our dog barking.
So, and this is what it looks like. So it's a very, very. I think it'll be very speckly. I think.
Yeah.
But it's really soft. Look at feel the.
What's the content?
It is. Oh, it is.
Oh, that's right. Yours
is merino cashmere nylon.
80-10-10.
80-10-10. So yeah. But yeah, and so the idea is I think next week they start sending out, it's a mystery cowl.
I've never done a mystery knit along.
Wasn't the advent calendar was kind of a mystery.
Well, but I wasn't doing it real time.
Right.
This is my first real time knit along.
Right. So that's a little terrifying, but we'll figure it out. So yeah, I think it'll be pretty.
I'm just hoping that I can keep up with it, with the clues.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be a little problematic.
Well, especially because we're doing the knit one and done cowl, and then we're doing the socks, we're doing the socks. What am I talking about? I always do socks.
Yeah.
I don't have to do socks, but I'm doing stuff for
other stuff. Yeah.
No, for Santiago. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I'd never heard of Oink pigments.
I don't know. I really like them.
Where are they?
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis. Yeah, you said that. Processed and spun in England.
Mm-hmm.
Hand dyed in Indianapolis. I see.
Right. So their base is.
Oh, I forgot what it feels like to touch cashmere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
So
that is exciting and fun and.
Yeah, and we'll have lots of.
Something about, so the woman that owns Darn Knit Anyway, her name's Amy Peltier, and something about her emails, man, she sends them out, and I'm like, yep, gotta buy that.
Yeah.
So, so we're about to have a lawnmower in the background, which might be a problem. All right, so
what happened was. So our backdoor neighbor started mowing the lawn, which caused background noise, number one.
Harris lost his mind.
And Harris, who really feels like he needs to protect us from the lawnmower, started going crazy. So between those two things, we decided to move indoors.
We're in the old school location.
Yeah.
All right, so I was saying that I bought this book, Saltwater Classics. It's caps, vamps, and mittens from the island of Newfoundland. Wait, how do they say it?
Newfoundland.
No, we say Newfoundland. Americans say Newfoundland, but I don't think that's how Canadians say it. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter.
Newfoundland?
I don't know. So,
Newfoundland.
Christine LeGros and Shirley Scott.
What are vamps?
Vamps, I think, are these little heavyweight sock things.
Fun.
So it's from 2019, so it's a relatively new book. I really have not looked at it at all. I mean, that's not true. I haven't spent a lot of time digging into it, but it looks like a really fun book. But they have another book, Saltwater Mittens, I think it was their first book. But somebody had made a pair of the vamps, and I'm going to try to find that. Oh, look at that. A hat that looks kind of like your sweater. A pair of the vamps. It was a guy, and I don't remember who it was. It wasn't somebody that I know personally. It was just somebody that I follow on Ravelry. I mean, on Instagram, and it was a pair of the vamps. And he posted it, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And he explained that the pattern was from this book, and so I immediately went over to Amazon and bought the books. Okay, so it says the Great Vamp Debate. Boots, snowshoes, buskins, and vamps were the winter footwear of early Newfoundland, a system of layering that kept
It's actually
feet
Newfoundland.
You don't know what it is. You don't pay attention to that stuff. I do.
Newfoundland.
A system of layering that kept feet warm and dry in the worst of conditions. So they look like heavy socks, booty type things. And so they just looked so awesome for
what kind of
wearing around the
heavy
house.
Yarn?
I guess. I don't.
So worsted weight yarn. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just excited to.
Baby vamps.
I might have to make some for Santiago. So anyway,
so they're like heavy colorwork socks, basically.
Yes, heavy colorwork socks. Yeah. So I'm just excited to try them, and there's cool mittens. And since our winters are
probably colder than Newfoundland's.
Yeah. Do they have the Atlantic Ocean?
Yeah. They've
water
got the jet stream doing something. Not the jet stream.
Yeah, the Atlantic, whatever
it's the current
thing where the
trade one.
The water that comes up from the Caribbean. That? Anyway. So, Saltwater Classics.
Oh, that's upsetting. Gulf
Stream? I'm excited. Yes, Gulfstream. No. Yeah, it sounds like. Anyway, doesn't matter. No, we're going to keep going.
It bothers me that I can't remember.
I think it's the Gulfstream.
Okay.
That sounds right. All right, so we have our
This is not a weather podcast.
This is not a weather podcast. We have our best friend here,
yes.
Angela Lansbury. And so 2 weeks ago, your assignment, Betty Ann, was to watch Mary Poppins Returns.
Mm-hmm.
Angela Lansbury's most recent movie.
No.
Damn it.
It's her penultimate movie, I think. Let me just.
Well, no, it's not penultimate. We don't want to say that because
second to last.
Yeah, second to most recent.
Second to most recent.
We don't
Although
want to say last.
she's in a new movie called The Adventures of Buddy Thunder that's in pre-production.
All right. So let's go through our list of Angela Lansbury things. First of all, she was playing 95. No, she was playing
93.
It was 95 when the movie was made, but she was playing 93. just making that up.
I don't think
she was playing 120.
I'm not sure if street vendors in the 1930s made it to 93.
Oh,
so she's playing younger.
She's playing much younger than she actually is.
This is like in the middle of the Great Depression. I don't think street vendors had super long lives. And in London, super polluted.
Was the movie or was the song that the guy was singing about the beautiful London sky, was that not ironic, but was that facetious? Because I'm like, the London sky at that time probably wasn't that beautiful.
Well, I mean, maybe when the Gulf Stream blew everything away, I don't know. So she was playing younger. We're just gonna say that.
Yeah, she's
so
playing
for the
younger.
first time ever, we think
that we're aware of,
she's playing probably younger. There were no cats harmed.
No, I don't even remember any cats at all.
Not even in the animated sequences.
Right.
Because I looked that up. I was like, oh, maybe one of the three villains were cats, but it was like a
wolf,
a weasel, and a badger.
Oh, okay.
So, and there was knitting. There was a knitted object because one of the children had a knitted teddy bear.
Was it that limp little sad-looking teddy bear that she gave him?
That was knit by the actors' grandmothers.
Yeah.
So
it looked like its head was this big. I don't know. There's something wrong with it.
As Mary Berry said, it looked homemade.
It looked homemade. It sure did.
So that was the knitting in it. So Angela Lansbury did not knit.
She made balloons.
She blew up
balloons.
Yeah. She didn't even have billing.
No. She had special appearance by her and Dick Van Dyke.
At the very end. They weren't in the front credits. But so she and Dick Van Dyke, who's also 95 or 93?
No, they're both 95.
At the time of this, in 2018?
Oh, so I forgot it wasn't 2020, so they were both 93 because they were born in the same year.
She's a little older than him.
By a few months.
So she and Dick Van Dyke both have cameos. Dick Van Dyke playing the same character he played in the original Mary Poppins.
But
not Bert, but...
right, but didn't need... She playing the old bank guy. That was amazing. I have to say, that was amazing.
And apparently that was actually... So he gets on the table and dances. That was actually him dancing.
I saw that too.
So that was pretty cool. So yeah, it's the longest gap between a first and a sequel, I think, ever.
Yeah.
54 years.
Yeah. I did read that they had postponed the filming of the original Mary Poppins because Julie Andrews was pregnant. Mm-hmm. They postponed the making of Mary Poppins Returns because Emily Blunt was pregnant.
Right.
So that was kind of fun.
That is kind of fun. So, what else? No cool. So when did she build?
How would you rate it? We have to talk about that.
I really liked it. So not as much as the original, but that's because the original is one of my all-time favorite. I mean, I think like a lot of kids, I grew up with watching the movie for sure, and then definitely we had the record, and so we played the record a lot.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I really love the movie. I love the original movie a lot.
Did the original movie scare you when you were little?
No.
It was scary.
There's the one scene when they're running around London and then
their dad's chasing them or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Or their dad had gotten mad at them.
Yeah, I remember really not liking the dad when I was a kid. And be like, oh, he's so bad. And then like as an adult, you're like, well, he's kind of being reasonable.
Right. And his kids are spoiled brats.
Right. Mary Poppins. You're like, my nanny behaved like that. She'd be out the door.
Right.
But yeah. So I'd give it like 4 stars. I thought it was it definitely did everything I wanted it to do, which was have Mary Poppins in it.
That's a good expectation.
Right? In a movie called Mary Poppins Return. Have fun songs and dance numbers, and reference the original in a way that they didn't try to reinvent the wheel. They did a thing that was very much like of the first movie without feeling completely derivative.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and I think you and I talked about this, and I think Emily Blunt is probably the only actress I can think of that could have done Mary Poppins Returns without a bunch of backlash.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because I just feel like Emily Blunt's one of those actresses that's so charming and so talented and so...
Well, she's one of those people she's instantly likable.
Instantly likable.
Kind of like Julie Andrews.
Right.
If you like Julie Andrews. But I think there's an interesting thing they're talking about. The balloon lady was originally floated to Julie Andrews, and she's like, I'm not going to do that because this shouldn't be my movie.
Right.
So that was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I thought the songs were good. I don't know if they were as good as the ones in the original movie.
But we haven't heard them 5,000
right,
times.
Exactly. Like I think like with especially when you grow up with with music like that, you're like, oh, of course they're great, but it's probably I've heard them 8 million times, like kind of like Frozen.
Yeah. And Lin-Manuel Miranda in the role of Jack, I thought was great.
Yes, he was really good.
I didn't know anything about him, and then we saw Hamilton, and obviously that's an amazing musical, and he wrote it and starred in it, and da-da-da-da-da. And so seeing him in this, doing something different, it makes you realize that he's really talented.
Well, and I think my
beyond something that he writes.
Comment to you is like, you watch Hamilton, and he's so good in Hamilton, but you just sort of think like, oh, it's just, that's just him being him. And I'm like, oh no, he's actually acting in both parts. So,
right.
Who knew? But he's really good. Again, I think Emily Blunt is really good. Who else was it? I mean, there's all kinds of cameos. Colin Firth is in it.
Yeah, and then the who's the guy that played the
Ben Whishaw? Winshaw's
the dad. Who's the guy that plays the admiral in the house next door that shoots off the cannon?
Someone who we'd recognize in the credits but didn't recognize in the movie.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
And then Emily Mortimer is grown-up Jane. She was fine.
Oh, yeah.
Again, it's, they have a live animation. So the animation sequence in the bowl was all hand-drawn.
Oh, really?
And they had to bring people out of retirement to do it because so much animation is computer-generated. And
I didn't read that.
Yeah, so that was all hand-drawn animation.
Wow.
I know. Which was funny because they have had a CGI animation before that, which was cute, but like compared to the hand-drawn stuff, it was just, so yeah, it was cute. I liked it.
Yeah, so what's next?
So we have some choices.
Okay.
So the first one is The Lady Vanishes.
Okay.
Which is a 1979 remake of a 1930s Hitchcock film.
Oh.
Starring Angela Lansbury and Sybil Shepherd.
Oh, that's interesting.
So the plot is that they're on a train, and this woman is on the train with, I'm assuming it's Angela Lansbury, and she disappears, and only one person remembers who she is.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah. So that's just good. The other one was called... sorry. So that's a more recent one. We're trying to do like a couple of eras. The other one is called A Breath of Scandal, which is from 1960. And this one stars Sophia Loren. It has Maurice Chevalier in it. Chevalier?
Who are you talking about? Oh, Maurice Chevalier.
The cough on 4 lethal curls. So here's the synopsis. Princess Olympia, Sophia Loren, despite her life status, cannot resist the urge to satisfy her sexual appetites.
Her life status?
Well, she's a princess.
Oh, okay. That's a life status, I guess.
And then she exiled to the countryside. She falls in love with American millionaire Charles Foster.
Okay.
So, played by the guy, John Gavin, who is... he's the guy in... He's one of the guys from Thoroughly Modern Millie.
Oh, okay.
So that's option number 2. And John Gavin, I think, is like one of the most attractive actors ever.
Oh, okay.
Even though he was... I mean... He was Reagan's ambassador to Mexico, which makes me think that I probably don't like his politics, but we're just going to forget that.
Right.
He was also married to Constance Towers, who was Helena Cassadine on General Hospital.
Oh,
so
well, all those references just went over my head.
I think he was. Yeah, I think he was. And then the third one is from earlier, is The Long Hot Summer. So this is
from 58.
From 58, and so this is a Paul Newman.
Oh,
movie.
sure, yeah.
So, accused barn burner Ben Quick, Paul Newman, arrives in a small town and quickly ingratiates himself with its richest family, the Varners. And
well, I think we have to go with the Lady Vanishes first, just because that sounds like a really fun premise.
You sounded most excited about that.
Yeah, I want to see the other two.
I mean, here's
no
the
doubt.
deal. I'm a little burned after the Adventures of Moll Flanders with 1960s sex farces.
Is that what the second one was?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
We will give it a try, but we're gonna. So this time we will do The Lady Vanishes. Okay. Do we know if it's available on streaming?
I double checked that. And so just so know that there are two versions of this. This is the one from 1978 with Angela Lansbury and, oh dear, 1979 with Angela Lansbury and Elliot Gould and Sybil Shepherd.
Right.
That's not an all-star cast from 1979. I don't know what it is.
All right. Cool. So we will watch that for next time.
Yes, I'm excited, and we could actually, we might watch that at the cabin.
Oh yeah.
And then we'll be there with two friends of ours. We might do a panel discussion.
Oh, that might be fun.
Because our friends Charles and Steve have opinions.
Yeah, our non-knitting friends.
Right.
That might be fun.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what we have.
All right.
Anything else?
Nope.
There's no Betty Ann update, except for the fact that she hates the color Citrion.
No, she hates the color 26.
28.
28.
So it's been awfully quiet on the Betty Ann front, which could both be a good thing or a really
I'm just waiting for
thing.
the other shoe to drop.
Yeah. So.
But yeah. So anyway, thank you guys for spending time with us. We'll see you again soon.
All right. Bye.